Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Milipurarachi.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharita Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines. The lower atmospheric disturbance has developed into a low-pressure zone. Several provinces may experience over 100 millimeters of heavy rains. Landslide warnings were issued to several districts. Many reservoirs are overflowing. The Deputy Minister of Health says interdiction of doctors in connection with the death of an infant in the Trincomalee Hospital is a temporary action taken after a preliminary investigation. Organised crime gang member Batuatte Chamara was brought to Sri Lanka from Azerbaijan. President reviewed the progress of Praja Shakti movement. Development projects worth over 23 million rupees island-wide have been approved. Distribution of fertilizer for the Yalla season will continue. Minister Nalinda Jayatissa leaves for the Maldives to address the 21st Asian Media Summit. President Trump displeasure to Iran's response towards the proposals to end war.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. Lower atmospheric disturbance prevailed over the Bay of Bengal sea area has become a low pressure condition after prevailing over the northwestward to the island.
The Meteorology Department states that existing rainy condition over the island may last during the next few days due to this situation.
Owing to the influence of this atmospheric condition, rains and heavy winds may occur in deep and shallow seas around the island and deep sea areas in the Bay of Bengal. The relevant sea areas may become turbulent as well. The Met Department further says that over 1,000 millimeters of heavy rains may experience in some areas of western, Sabaragamuwa, southern, northwestern and northern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. Thunder showers accompanied with severe lightning may occur in some areas in Sabaragamuwa, central, Uva, north central and eastern provinces, and in Kurunegala, Mullaitivu, Mana and Vavuniya districts. Thunder showers may accompany with temporary localized winds. The Met Department informs the public to take necessary measures to minimize the dangers caused by lightning. In the face of existing inclement weather conditions, the National Building Research Organisation has issued second-stage landslide warnings to Passara Divisional Secretariat area in Badulla district. Stage 1 warnings have been issued to Bandarawala Divisional Secretariat area in Badulla district, Vellavavita in Kalutara district, Ridhigama in Kurunegala district, Neluwa, Rattota and Abangankorale in Matale district, Vellavaya and Badalkumura in Monragal district, and Ratnapura, Godakavela and Kalawana Divisional Secretariat areas in Ratnapura district. Senior geologist of the National Building Research Organisation, Dr. Vasantha Senadhira, added that due to the heavy rainfall received at the end of the previous year, landslide conditions had become in many locations, noting that while some sites remained active, others had become dominant. He explained that with the upcoming rains, there was a high probability of these sites reactivating, leading to a potential collapse of embankment and rocks. Consequently, he urged residents living in close proximity to these areas to be extremely vigilant and requested that if they observed a gradual increase in rainfall, they should evacuate those locations and move to safer ground. Additional Director General of the Department of Meteorology, Ajit Vijayamana, said that a low pressure area is covering the Bay of Bengal to the northeast of the island as well as the northern and eastern provinces. He mentioned that as a result, many areas across the island could experience showers or thunder showers during the evening or night. The Additional Director General further explained that due to the influence of this system, an increase in rainfall is expected around the island over the next 2 to 3 days. Many houses in 14 Grama-Niladhari divisions in the Galewala Divisional Secretariat Division have been affected by floods. Officials of the Divisional Secretariat Division state that most affected area is Lakiwatta at Pattivela in close vicinity of Galewala town. 12 major reservoirs and 6 medium-scale reservoirs controlled under the Department of Irrigation are overflowing at present. 10 sluice gates of the Rajangane Reservoir are open at present, releasing a water flow of 12,269 cubic feet per second into the Kala Oya. Water level of the Kirindi Oya was increased, and the people living in low-lying areas close to either banks of the river have been informed to be vigilant on the rising water level. The lower atmospheric disturbance prevailed over the Bay of Bengal sea area has now become a low-pressure condition and prevails over the northwestward to the island. The meteorology department stated that existing rainy condition over the island may last during the next few days to this situation. Owing to the influence of this atmospheric condition, rains and heavy winds may occur in the deep and shallow sea areas around the island and the deep sea areas in the Bay of Bengal. The relevant sea areas may become turbulent as well. Director of Irrigation Department, Engineer L.S. Surya Bandara, pointed out that although water levels in the Thanamalvila area has risen slightly due to power generation releases, the levels were currently receding. He mentioned that a significant further increase in water levels was not expected. However, he warned that because of sudden rainfall, water levels in certain low-lying areas could rise rapidly and urged motorists and those living near rivers or low-lying areas to remain highly vigilant.
And meanwhile, Minister of Energy Anurag Karunatilaka says that the problem concerning the standard of imported coal has not at all affected the increase in electricity bill. The minister emphasized that there is a possibility of continuous supply of fuel without any shortage by now, and had made this observation during a media briefing held today at the Department of Government Information. Minister of Power and Energy Anurag Karunatilaka stated that there was an increase in generation cost for the second quarter of 2026 compared to the previously approved forecast, which necessitated a revision of electricity bills. He noted that overall the increase would affect only 7.29% of total electricity consumers, while among domestic consumers only 4.06% would be impacted. The minister emphasized that the issue regarding coal quality would not be passed on to the consumers, as provisions exist within the tender process to recover cost from the relevant companies. He expressed optimism that fuel prices might decrease, adding that the government does not intend to request further electricity bill increases until September. Furthermore, he explained that without developing the necessary infrastructure, newly established power plants could not be integrated into the national grid. Since the National People's Power took office, this issue has been identified and efforts are underway to quickly implement battery storage facilities. The goal to store electricity during the day for use at night while developing the infrastructure needed to incorporate renewable energy into the national system. Minister Karunatilaka assured that there are sufficient fuel stocks and that further orders have been placed to ensure a continuous supply. He also pointed out that the increase in fuel cost has not been fully passed on to the consumers, as the government bears a portion of the actual cost, which are significantly higher than the current market prices. To prevent excessive dollar outflows, he stressed the need for fuel consumption limits, mentioning that while the government may consider increasing the QR quota, there are no plans to completely abolish the QR quota system. The minister pointed out that the government is taking steps to develop infrastructure facilities related to energy origins. Minister Anurag Karunatilaka stated that the General Treasury would provide 50% of the funds required for the payment of retirement compensation for employees of the system operator company and the National Transmission Network. He further mentioned that for other companies, the General Treasury would cover 100% of the compensation. Additionally, he noted that the necessary steps would be taken to settle those payments within this week as soon as the cabinet approval is received. Views were also expressed related to the payment of compensation during voluntary retirement of employees who are not in favor of joining main institution after the restructuring of the Ceylon Electricity Board.
23 million rupees out of a sum of 25 million rupees of grants allocated by the budget has been provided for the National Praja Shakti program to eradicate poverty to district secretaries. These grants are expected to be provided for prioritized projects by community development and development councils regarding livelihood development, production, economy and food safety. This has been emphasized during the meeting to review progress of the Praja Shakti National Campaign. The meeting was held under the leadership of President Anurag Kumar Dissanayake. 13,977 community development councils have already been established under Gramaniladara divisions. Officials enlightened the President regarding monetary grants provided for those community development councils. Minister Upali Panilage and a group of other officials joined the meeting.
And meanwhile, the Director General of the Agriculture, Dr. Thushara Vikramasinghe, says that the fertilizer scarcity which affected certain areas will be completely over by the provision of the distribution process to the private sector also from this week, which was so far confined only to agrarian service centres. He made these comments joining the program to enlighten media regarding the National Agriculture Proportion Programme. Director General of Agriculture Dr. Thushara Vikramasinghe elaborated that by March there were 102,000 metric tons of urea in the country. He noted that another 50,000 metric tons were imported later, bringing the total to approximately 152,000 metric tons, which is sufficient for the country's needs. Explaining that the government desired to distribute the fertilizer through agrarian services to ensure it reached farmers systematically, which led to a perceived shortage among private dealers. He mentioned that the government has decided to distribute urea fertilizer to private institutions starting from this week, and he concluded by saying that there is currently enough fertilizer for the Yala season and that the government has a plan to place into import fertilizer for the upcoming Maha season, which should resolve the issue.
The Government Medical Officers Association says that interdicting doctors over the death of an infant at the Trincomalee District General Hospital is not fair. Deputy Minister of Health Dr. Hansaka Vijayamuni said that this action was taken as a temporary step following a basic investigation. An infant died in a delivery at about 8:45 a.m. on the 9th of April at the labour room of the Trincomalee District General Hospital. The Government Medical Officers Association had called a strike on that day. The Ministry of Health and Mass Media conducted a preliminary investigation over this incident, and based on the facts revealed, the consultant doctor of obstetrics and gynecology and the senior in-house doctor were interdicted with immediate effect by a letter issued by the Secretary to the Ministry. The Ministry has pointed out that the relevant doctors had shirked the duty through his misconduct. It has been revealed during the preliminary investigation the in-house female doctor has informed the relevant consultant several times that the infant was gulped with excreta. However, the relevant consultant doctor had not attended the emergency, seemingly shirking his duty. Through this action, he had left the infant vulnerable during the delivery. In addition, the said doctor had performed a caesarean surgery to another mother in the private hospital close by. The letter issued by the ministry had stated that the consultant doctor had committed a serious offence in engaging in a private practice at a private hospital during his duty hours and made fake notes in his call-up diary as he had engaged in his duty at the government hospital. Vice President of the Government Medical Officers Association, Consultant Physician Chandika Epitakadua, said that based on the way the preliminary investigation had been conducted, it appeared that the incident had not involved experts or individuals with specific expertise related to the matter. A journalist then questioned whether the doctors had issued a letter instructing members not to engage in private practice during the ongoing strike. Responding to this, the doctor said that at no point had they issued any such letter prohibiting private practice. He stressed that doctors, regardless of whether they worked in private hospitals or government hospitals, were committed to protecting the lives of ordinary people. The journalist further asked whether a doctor who was scheduled to be on call at 8 p.m. should not report to the hospital at that time. The doctor explained that if a surgery involving a patient in the private sector had begun earlier, for example at 7 p.m., and the procedure was prolonged due to unavoidable circumstances, no doctor could simply stop the surgery and abandon the patient in order to be elsewhere by 8 p.m. The journalist pointed out that this was precisely the issue being raised by the public, noting that doctors assigned to be on call at government hospitals were expected to report on time, but delays caused by private sector duties affected their arrival at state hospitals. In response, the doctor said that patients in government hospitals were first attended to by intern doctors, followed by senior resident doctors. He added that the hospital in question had 2 specialist doctors attached to the relevant field. Therefore, if one specialist doctor could not be contacted for some reason, The other specialists could be contacted instead. He questioned what the actual issue was in such a situation. Deputy Minister of Health Dr. Hansaka Vijayamuni stated that the Health Ministry carries out disciplinary inquiries against doctors as well as other health staff whenever a complaint is received. He said that in this particular case, a temporary suspension from service had been imposed until the investigation is concluded and clarified that it was not a dismissal from service.
Manoj Surangalinage alias Batuwate Chamara, a suspect connected with a number of organized crimes, is brought back to the country last night from Katunayake International Airport. He was taken into custody while escaping to Azerbaijan about a year back before being hidden in Dubai for a long time. First arriving in New Delhi, India, he was brought to the island last night. According to the police, he is also wanted in connection with the assault of Tusita Haloluwa, providing a firearm to assassinate Ganemode Sanjeeva, large number of organized crimes within the country, as well as being a main suspect in drug trafficking in the island. He was also taken away with a heavy security to Colombo Crime Division from Katunayake International Airport.
Sri Lanka has successfully met the stringent conditions imposed under the Marine Mammal Protection Act for exporting fish products to the United States. According to a statement issued by the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, this development has cleared the existing barriers to exporting marine crabs to the American market. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, operating under the U.S. Department of Commerce, has officially communicated this decision. As a result, Sri Lanka's marine crab harvesting processes and related regulations have been confirmed to comply with American standards. Although an American court ruling in November 2025 had impacted these export activities, NOAA reviewed its decision and granted approval after considering the scientific data and facts presented by the Department of Fisheries, the Nara Institute and other relevant sectors.
Sri Lanka gained popularity through the world due to waterfalls and forests, which the main factors enhancing the natural beauty of the country. Galpotel, belonging to the Divisional Secretariat Authority area of Navalapitiya, Pasbagi Korale, has previously known as Sudagalal. The waterfall is endowed with natural beauty and is getting popularity as an enchanting waterfall where natural water sports can be conducted, as well as a destination of local and foreign tourists. It can be reached through Samanalagama Road, Navalapitiya, and people know it as Galpotel or Hindfoot Falls. Cascading down a natural rock of 60 meters in width and 50 meters in length, is more popular as a spot for sports such as water gliding. A special feature of the location is that a large number of people attend daily and during weekends, but the area around the fall has become littered with garbage brought by them. This has caused a huge threat to the beauty of the location and has also enhanced the banners of flies and mosquitoes. The natural water stream is also being used as the water resource for the purification center, which provides water to Navalapitiya town, managed by the National Water Supply and Drainage Board. According to the people arriving from remote areas, no facilities are available at this location in order to take care of their sanitary requirements. Attention of concerned authorities should focus on this in order to convert it into an income-earning location for the country, as well as for the promotion of tourism industry, since it is full of natural beauty.
Nuwa, City of Dreams, Sri Lanka, the luxury flagship hotel within South Asia's first fully integrated luxury resort, held a special press conference in celebration on its prestigious 5-star recognition.
The conference has further reinforced its position as one of the leading luxury hospitality destinations in the region. It brought together key figures from Sri Lanka's tourism and hospitality sectors, media representatives and senior leadership from City of Dreams, Sri Lanka, reflecting the country's growing prominence on the global luxury travel map. The event was graced by Deputy Minister of Tourism, Professor Ruwan Ranasinghe, and Buddhika Hewawasam, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority. The conference elaborated on Sri Lanka's evolving luxury hospitality landscape and the role of integrated resorts in positioning Colombo as a world-class destination. City of Dreams Sri Lanka Nuva offers 113 exquisitely designed rooms and suites perched atop the resort, delivering unparalleled facilities and a panoramic view of the Colombo skyline and the Indian Ocean.
We'll be back with more local stories after a break. Stay with us.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome back with more local stories. The Yaldevi train, which plies between Colombo Fort and Kankasanture in Jaffna, resumed its services today.
Accordingly, Yaldevi train will run from Colombo Fort to Kankasanture on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. It runs from Kankasanture to Colombo Fort on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. The train starts at 6:40 am from Colombo Fort and reaches Kankasanture by 2:33 pm. The railway department says the train that starts from Kankasanture at 10:30 am reaches Colombo Fort by 7:03 pm. The train consists of 4 air-conditioned first-class compartments. Seats can be reserved by entering the website seatreservation.railway.gov.lk.
Dr. Davina Navikshi left for Antalya in Turkey from Katunayaka International Airport to represent Sri Lanka at Miss Aura International 2026 Beauty Pageant. Beauties representing 50 countries of the world are expected to participate in the pageant, which commenced yesterday. It will continue until the 22nd of May in Turkey. In a special feature, Davina Navikshi, who represents Sri Lanka, is a medical doctor by profession. Local director of Miss Aura International, Damit Anju, and a group of others are also participating in the pageant. Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Nalindra Jayatissa, is scheduled to depart for the Maldives tomorrow to participate in the 21st Asian Media Summit. The summit, which commenced today, will continue until the 14th. The summit is being held at Villa Nautica in the Maldives. A large number of policymakers, media institutions, media professionals, communication researchers and observers representing several Asian countries are participating in the 21st Asia Media Summit. In addition to representatives of the Maldivian government, the summit is attended by the Minister of Information and Broadcasting of Bangladesh, the Secretary General of BIMSTEC, the Secretary General of SAARC, the State Secretary for Social Communication of Timor-Leste, and several other leading figures from across the Asian region. The keynote address at the 4th session of the summit were delivered by Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Nalindra Jayatissa. During his address, he is expected to express views on media policies, public information dissemination, media professionalism, and communication responsibilities in serving public needs.
And meanwhile, the Colombo Magistrates Court today ordered to resummon a case filed against Shashi Veeravansha, wife of former Minister Vimal Veeravansha, on the 25th of this month. The case had been filed under the charge of obtaining a diplomatic passport by submitting forged documents. Respondent Shashi Veeravansha, who is on bail, appeared before the court when the case was summoned today. The attorney at law appeared on her behalf, informed the courts that before handling evidence he wanted to check the relevant computer system which was used to create computerized documents in relation to the case. He further said that this case cannot be maintained since he has not given access to the computer system under the provisions of the evidence ordinance. The magistrate ordered the Criminal Investigation Department to inform CID's stance on the next hearing whether the respondent's lawyer would be given that opportunity. Later, the Colombo Magistrate Court ordered to resummon the case on the 25th of this month.
The Uber Provincial Summit of the Muthuara Rupavahini Children's Societies was held recently at the main hall of Bandaravilla Central College. The aim of organizing this summit is to enlighten and empower the officials and members of the Muthuara Children's Societies in the Uber province and to start new Muthuara societies in the province. In line with this summit, official registration letters was also distributed among the officials of the children's societies. Donations made by number 2601 Muthuara Children's Society in Milano, Italy, for the people affected by Cyclone Titwa in the Uber province were also officially handed over at this event. It was held under the patronage of Director General of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Manoja Nadishanamara Singha. Chief Secretary of the Uva Province, Anusha Gokula Fernando, expressed that they have always loved national television. She mentioned that during her childhood in the village, she participated in many programs with national television. She highlighted that Finland, which has the best education system in the world, conducts education through education in theatre and theatre in education. She explained that this means anyone studying any subject should be connected to an aesthetic subject to develop into a balanced child. Furthermore, the Chief Secretary stated that they viewed this as a significant opportunity and are committed to developing the right brain of children, and she defined the right brain as being associated with enjoyment, appreciation, human love and the recreation of a society that loves nature. Director General of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Manoja Nadishana Amarasinghe, said that the national channel Rupavahini is the only channel in Sri Lanka that actively goes out into the field to work. He mentioned that as the country's national broadcaster, they produce the largest number of programs and handle almost all government projects. Regarding their commitment to children, he explained that they make significant sacrifices to fulfill a national mission aimed at developing children's personalities and skills. He emphasized that they provide these opportunities without hesitation and will continue to do so in the future. The Director General further noted that several Muthuara children's clubs were being mobilized and encouraged members to conduct activities in their respective areas. He assured that their news correspondents would be available to cover these events. A group of public representatives, including parliamentarian Ravindra Bandara, officials of the educational sector, producer of the Muthuara program, senior producer of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Udanta Kamal Gunatilaka, and several others were also present at the occasion.
The National Environment Act has been amended, and Minister Dr. Dhammika Pattapati revealed this during a media briefing held at the Department of Government Information today. Minister of Environment Dr. Dhammika Pattapati stated that the cabinet paper related to the amendment was approved last year. He mentioned that in accordance with the cabinet paper, the amended bill was gazetted on 22nd of April. Furthermore, he noted that the gazetted Environment Act was represented in Parliament for the first time on the 6th of May. Dr. Pattapati emphasized that their goal is to protect the country's environment, acknowledging both national and global responsibilities in this regard, which they are currently fulfilling. Deputy Minister of Environment Ajit Jayakodi explained that through the new Act, the responsibility is placed on manufacturers to collect and recycle a significant amount of plastic, polythene and other materials they produce rather than releasing them into the environment. He also highlighted the aim to encourage a shift in consumer attitudes, directing them to recycle packages instead of discarding it.
The Colombo Stock Exchange ended today's trading negatively. The oil share price index closed at 23,011.72 after falling by 52.26 points, which represents a 0.23% change. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,300.02, down by 19.21 points and 0.30%. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 8.325 trillion rupees, and market turnover for the day amounted to 4.93 billion rupees, with 185.35 million shares traded.
international stories. President Donald Trump says Iran's response to the proposals he put forward to end the war is completely unacceptable.
Iran conveyed its response to the American proposals through Pakistan.
Agency stated that the American peace proposals include an immediate end to the war, the cessation of the US naval blockade, and a halt to further attacks on Iran. Earlier this week, Trump said that Iran's war would end quickly. However, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that before declaring an end to the war against Iran, Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium must be removed. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian yesterday issued a statement saying that Iran will never bow before an enemy and that speaking about a dialogue or negotiation should not be interrupted as surrender or retreat. According to American media reports, the 14-point US proposal includes provisions such as suspending Iran's nuclear activities, lifting sanctions and restoring free navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. The United States is continuing to block Iranian ports in an effort to pressure Tehran into accepting its condition, further escalating tensions between the two countries.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. And I'm Charita, son of Sharifa.